melody composed in the cradle of time.
Hello everyone, welcome back to some more matches from Cat Yum Cup. We've got the quarterfinals week up here. Gonna have a losers bracket match being shown here between JayLye and Elic. We're getting some very high seeds, very high performing players going to be potentially eliminated right here this weekend. I'm Potassium F, gonna be commentating alongside Nightcore. How are you doing?
Doing all good. Good to see a match like this, and of course, really interesting matchup. We're seeing both JayLye and Elic. Of course, in the losers bracket match, both players really strong in their own regard as well. We have seen them perform very well in their previous games, so I'm really excited to see how both these players duke it out.
Yeah, absolutely. Both players have gotten some pretty strong scores overall in a previous week. Just kind of goes to show how high the level has been so far in this tournament, being one of those one-on-one tournaments, of course. But I'm interested to see what we're going to be seeing from the picks and bans, because it does feel like, in this matchup specifically, I feel like Elic might be leaning more in towards the Rice pool.
I would probably say so as well. In that case, I could also see this being more of a Rice versus Longnut matchup. We have seen JayLye. The thing with JayLye, they definitely are very well-rounded. In that case, we have seen them prone to missing sometimes, but I think in their case, maybe just play on Elic's more weaknesses. Maybe, as you said, if they would jump into more Rice, maybe they could counteract with Longnut. I'm not really too sure on how Elic is with Longnut. I haven't really seen them perform yet, but I'm excited to see how they do, because I do believe they haven't played last week due to a forfeit.
Yeah, so it has have a little bit of missing information as far as last week's concerned, but does seem like a player that should scale at least decently well. The problem being is JayLye is one of those tournament players that you kind of look at and you say, there's not really any weaknesses to speak of for JayLye. A very consistent player kind of across the board. Rice and the LN is both scary here. So kind of gonna be determined more on Elic's own comfort zones and their skill sets.
Absolutely. Even then, kind of looking at the stats week from round of 32 when Elic played, you can definitely see the difference between JayLye and Elic in the case of Longnut, which that's probably why I would say it'd be Rice versus Longnut matchup. But as you were saying, Elic looking at JayLye saying, okay, where do I go from here? Definitely is kind of hard to kind of have a full plan of action ahead, because you want to analyze their strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah, for sure. But just waiting to get into the match here. We'll see what's going on there. It does, hang on, it does look like from the challenge, Elic did play a match last week, or at least should have. Because there would have been 2 matches in the losers bracket that Elic played. One of them was the win by default. The other one went to 6-4, so maybe something to look at the stat sheet later for. But anyway, we'll see how this one goes on currently. as the winner of this match will not actually proceed to the semifinals right away, of course. They're going to have to win 2 matches this weekend to be able to move on to the next round. And I guess an expected ban coming out of JayLye here. Rise 3 going to be taken out of the picture. And I'm assuming Elic's going to go for maybe an LN3. Yep. Calling it just before it came through. And it looks like the first pick. JayLye not going to hold back here. EX2 going to be the first one coming out of the gate. The most difficult LN map in the pool. Going to be punishing not only the LN strengths of JayLye, but also potentially, I think there could be some scaling difference between the 2 players as well. Looking at the seed difference, JayLye might be a bit more comfortable with these harder charts.
I could definitely see that, especially jumping into long note as well. The other thing I'm also kind of curious about is, you know, this is supposed to be around semifinals difficulty 4 long note in the case of EX, and that kind of makes me a bit curious as well that Elic can also put up a good fight in a case like this, because when you do get later game into long note, it does come to a bit less of the coordination and kind of more into physicality as well. So I'd say combo wise, both players have to be on top of their A game for here.
Yeah, that is a lot of truth in that as well. That these harder maps can sometimes, you can kind of get away with playing them like Rise maps as well, and still get some very impressive scores on it. But we'll see how that goes. So far, it looks like, as expected a little bit, we have JayLye with a bit of an accuracy lead early on, but Elic not falling too far behind just yet. A very long map, this one.
Yeah, 4 minutes to start off is going to be an absolute gauntlet. But here we are, so getting into our first KI. You can see JayLye does have a stronger long note fundamentals when it comes to release, but here we are. A bit of density, bit of that mixed snappings as well. Both players not really getting too caught out by it. Natural accuracy drop and a drop as well on their combo on the side of Elic as well. Coming in from the first quarter.
Yeah, Elic starting to fall behind a little bit. We can see a lot of late hits coming in through, some early hits as well. Struggling to really maintain that accuracy, really just trying to hold on to the combo as best as he can. But right now, JayLye doing the better job all around.
Yep, still holding onto that full combo. Very strong. Just heading out of the main KI now. Not much room for breaks as well. Do get into more simple density areas, so maybe Elic can catch up their accuracy a small bit. As I do say that, they do find an earlier drop. Again, I do believe that is just going to be a full-on miss instead of a 50. I mean, other way around, but again, you just have to really keep controlling the map like this. And JayLye does have a pretty impressive lead over on their side with 99.6.
Yeah, still looking impressively consistent for JayLye overall here. As we are past the halfway mark.
This map is just an absolute gauntlet to get through. Although it is only OD7, you essentially get very little breaks in here. You would just have to be on your toes for the entire map.
And I believe my stream has frozen. Let me...
Bang poo!
Yeah, I thought so, given how both of us just went quiet for a bit. Oh, we're back.
Okay, we're back.
Okay, it does seem... Yeah, we were frozen for about a minute there. That's fine. JayLye still with the full combo, though. And actually still with the same accuracy. No act drops, no combo breaks whatsoever. Elic has dropped a little bit of accuracy overall. Seems like another 1 or 2 combo breaks along the line as well, and 20,000 points on a 4-minute long map. It's going to be a bit hard to overcome. There is a miss from JayLye, so no more full combo for either side, but that's not going to matter. It feels like a little bit too little too late here, unless an absolute collapse happens.
It can happen. We have seen it in some other tournaments, but for this, hopefully not. But now here we are heading into the last KI. We're going to be seeing what we have seen from the first. A couple of more of those LN rolls, a couple more of those more mixed snappings. Again, just kind of more of your tested density that doesn't really need too much release fundamentals. But in this case, while both players are still holding on to this KI, just holding on to both strong full combos, very impressive performance. As you said, I think something substantial has to happen on the side of JayLye if Elic does want to take this point back. But if things continue the way they are going, I think it's safe to say that JayLye got themselves a nice first comfy point.
Yep. It seems like it is set. Only the one miss coming out. Fairly clean miss from JayLye as well. So very strong score on the EX2 to kick things off here. Elic just falling behind gradually over time throughout the map. And that lead was just built up slowly. It's going to be JayLye with a really strong first pick, but Elic gets the opportunity now to pick probably one of the Rice maps to see if he can find a retaliation.
I'm kind of curious to see what they are going into next. Now, Rice Free has been banned, so I mean that is a pretty reasonable ban on the side of JayLye. So they're gonna jump into Rice 6. I was gonna say Rice Free is also just a really strong ban because, well, you won't know what the Rice you don't know what JayLye's Rice weaknesses are. But in this case, going into Rice 6, just gonna be holding on, like, no doubts at all, gonna be jumping into mixed Rice.
Yeah. This one going to be quite tricky overall. And I feel like these later Rice picks, you know, going into the more mixed and tech picks tend to be a popular choice for a lot of lower seeds overall when it comes to the Rice. It's something that you can really find a big point swing on if one side messes up compared to, say, a Rice 2, where Rice 2 kind of feels a little bit more predictable in the outcome. Rice 1, Rice 2, more straightforward of maps in that regard.
Absolutely. Anytime you just see more unique snappings, more tests of everything, it does tend to go like that. More chances to find a pattern that, you know, you can stumble over pretty quickly. It is 2 minutes 48, so there can be a miss on either side, and I don't think it will make the biggest difference. But I would say on the side of JayLye, you know, if Elic is going into this for their first pick, you probably know damn well they are probably going to hold on to an FC or very low miscount. And here we are as well, just to see off the appetizer the map.
Yeah, really strong start here for Elic, starting just about a 99.8. JayLye is not too far behind, but it is definitely a tiny lead here for Elic at the start.
Yep, absolutely. Again, it's kind of just more holding onto your rolls, your flams as well. Very unique snapping here that goes above the 240 BPM. But now as we jump into the jump stream, small accuracy drop from both players. Going to be getting close with the 3-digit score difference. But anything can still happen as we do get into the halfway point.
Yeah, we're only within a couple 200s difference, really, and importantly, both players still with a full combo. We'll see if there's any misses coming out. Doesn't seem like either player is finding too much difficulty on the combo side of things yet.
Still holding on. I can just imagine the nerves being extremely high. You have the Osu in the background as well. You can see in the background there, but things are starting to kick back in again. It is very easy to tunnel vision some of those flams as well in the broken jump stream. But we are heading back into it now. Going to be having more of those awkward jump streams, come more of those trills. It is getting too close to comfort now. Only 0.01 of an accuracy difference right now at even a few 300s.
It's about to flip, just about. You can see the accuracy just about tied. JayLye seems to have the better ratio overall, slowly clawing this back. The accuracies are inseparable right now. Still on the double full combo, we can see this lead doesn't really know where it's at right now. It looks like JayLye with a little bit of an advantage starting to increase over time. But there's a 200, and it's back to tied once again.
The Jacks are knocking on the door as well at this point. Only about 150k left of the map. Anything can still happen. War the Technical is getting up, but it's getting lighter at this point. You just beg none of them drop a 200, but the core jacks are heading in. Will anyone find a drop? It is a very easy place to find a choke point here as the density still riles up, but JayLye is going to thrive off that core jack section. And as the final long notes come down, they're going to be taking that lead, taking the breakpoint off Elic with a 2-0 lead with a 990.5.
That was all the 300s in the end section. I don't think Elic hit a single 200, but just hit too many of those 300s in a row, getting slightly off center with those jacks at the end. And that is all that JayLye needed to run away with a breakpoint. 990k and a really impressive double full combo from this lobby.
Absolutely, very impressive scores from both players indeed. Only 2300 to be scored of a ratio difference from both players. You can tell this match is going to be extremely close, especially when it comes to the Rice. But now, JayLye is not going to waste any time again, jumping into Hybrid 2 to get on that retaliate and hope to get their third point.
And not moving into the main long note pool just yet. We are going to go towards these hybrid, but of course, this is JayLye we're talking about. I don't think any of these maps, or any types of maps, is a bad pick.
Yeah, I can definitely see that as well. Maybe hybrid. Maybe could have jumped into something like LN1 on that side, maybe to just go for coordination. But I feel like hybrid 2 works well too.
Yeah, I mean, also being a first to 6 scenario, still has the opportunity to pick LN1 later on in the match if he wants to save it for a little bit longer.
Absolutely. And the thing is as well with Hybrid 2. Hybrid 2 is going to be kind of more your shield jack oriented pick as well, which I can definitely tell for people that aren't really too strong in coordination or are missing a bit more fundamentals. Shields can definitely throw players off a bit, and you're already seeing here, got a couple of those free note patterns, a couple of the jacks, and just also having to side manage some of those long notes as well on the side. But here we are. At 171 BPM can definitely throw you off your toes as well if you're not careful, and can drop a few 200s as well.
And it looks like the accuracy slowly falling behind here for Elic, but JayLye finding a fairly messy miss there. Going to be costing him the lead, actually. Elic still with a full combo, going to come out on top overall.
Absolutely. They just need to hold on to their combo at this point, but has there been that much damage? Yeah, it was a pretty nasty drop on the side of JayLye going down to 99.5, but they're just climbing their way back up again. And especially that the second half gets a lot more heavy in density and jacks. Elic is going to take that reverse glove touch, find the trade back as we just get to the break in the middle of the section. So the damage has been repaired on the side of JayLye, and Elic has a bit of that catching up game to do. But as we saw JayLye find a drop at the start, it could happen again. Could Elic thrive, or will they be put back in the dust?
I mean, if Elic wants to capitalize on a miss, again, we already saw, even before Elic was missing, this lead was flickering back to JayLye on the accuracy alone. I think Elic's going to have to try and increase this accuracy as much as possible and hope that JayLye finds another miss coming into this last quarter.
With the build up, 6k score lead, I think another nasty drop has to happen on the side of JayLye, but Elic, as I mentioned, that is going to find a drop. JayLye just has to thrive off this victory lap at the end. The density is still riling up, got more of those jacks as well, accompanied by a lot of the long notes. Elic still kind of struggling to keep on to their combo while not losing too much accuracy. Unfortunately, against JayLye, I think the damage has unfortunately been done. And is JayLye going to get out of this ending? This burst at the end is brutal. Saw a few 100s as well dropped, but at the end, JayLye is going to be taking this with a 3-0 score lead.
Yeah, really strong score here from JayLye, and a little bit of a mess up in that first half, but nothing that he didn't recover from, and recovered really well as well. We see that 200 count really making up more than enough difference for those misses, and now 3-1 up. JayLye off to a very good start in the match. It's up to Elic now. Really needs to get on the board with his next pick.
Absolutely. And I think, yet again, they've shown a really strong score, especially on their physicality. But again, when you're facing on LN Hybrid, it might be pretty hard to tackle it against JayLye. So maybe I'd say something like Rice 4, Rice 5 would probably be their best pick, I would say next. Of course, EX1 is also there alongside Rice 1 and 2. But I'd say if you want to throw JayLye off and go for more of the physical picks, I would say those three are going to be your best bet.
Yeah, we'll see where it goes to. Rice 5 going to be the choice in the end here. I feel like all of these Rice should be fairly strong overall for Elic, and I guess either way, Elic is going to have to win the remaining Rice picks in the pool if he wants to get back into this one, but it did look very promising on Rice 6.
I think this is going to be a perfect pick on the side of Elic. While again, they do have to put up their A game when facing JayLye, I definitely believe they can take this point if they thread well. Now, of course, going to be heading into Rice 5 is going to be more of your... It's going to be more of your dump picks, so going to be sharing some aspects again, like the ending of Hybrid 2, a bit mixed in as well with Rice 6, which we have seen both players thrive on actually as well. So I'm really interested to see how this one turns out. It's going to be 176 BPM, so you bet we're going to see higher slappings in this. Going to be going up to around the mid 200s, I do believe.
Yeah, we'll see. Going to be up to Elic again to find that full combo, if possible. And we have seen now JayLye finally finding a couple of misses in some recent maps, so possible for it to happen here as well.
It can definitely go either way. I feel like at Rice, it definitely is too close to comfort in a case like that. But actually coming off the start, we're going to see Elic take a pretty nice lead, as I do believe JayLye did find a 200 or 2 coming off the intro. But for a map like this, it's definitely how well can you transition in and out from a lot of these drops. You have some of these jumps as well that can actually lead into some jacks too, which if you're not careful can definitely catch you out. You don't really want that tunnel vision as well, which there is a lot of technical aspects in this map as well that can definitely keep you on your toes.
JayLye is recovering quite well overall from that earlier act drop. Elic still out in front, but it's getting closer over time. We can see this lead now less than 1,000 points. Plenty of map to go, so plenty of time for this to close even more.
We are going to be seeing both players still just hold on. As you said, JayLye is just slowly creeping up towards Elic. That rough start for them hasn't really mattered a lot, as I think JayLye just having the more accuracy fundamentals, I would say, with just maximizing 300s as well.
And now just 0.03 apart. It feels like it's closing in over time, halfway through the map. Still more than enough. If there's a single 200 from Elic, this feels like it's going to be tied up perfectly even. But as it is, Elic's been holding on really strong to this 99.77.
It's essentially too close to comfort to tell at this point. Like, you are just seeing constant rain of rolls and streams here now. Compared to what we have seen for the first half, definitely getting a lot more stamina heavy. JayLye is actually starting to hit a bit late here, which if you start hitting late, it does eventually start to crumble a bit. It does kind of make me a bit concerned on their side. Start to find a few cracks, but as well, Elic finding a 200 on their side as well. Do they have the stamina to get for the end? Going to be seeing a lot more of those flammy areas before we head into the final quarter. But hopefully that does help JayLye catch their breath a bit. But they do have a small bit to go if they do want to catch back up to Elic.
Yeah, this lead has widened a little bit again. 2,000 points, still not very safe. But Elic has really maintained the consistency on this one. 99.77 still. I feel like that's not moved a single bit so far in so long.
their consistency, especially just now, is one of a kind at this point. Will they find a falter at the end? The rolls are still getting heavier. Even a miss on the side of Ellie can bring things back over towards JayLye, or vice versa. 200 on the side. And as we close out.
Yeah, not enough. That did cost 800 points of the lead by itself, just that single 200 at the end. But enough of a buffer overall. Elic gets a really solid first point on the board.
Very strong first point. And just showing their potential as well. Same 200 count, but again, that ratio difference is going to be enough to lift them up a good bit. And definitely can give them back their confidence boost as well. JayLye going to take no prisoners. Jumping into hybrid free. Going to be our tech hybrid pick in this case.
Okay, so still avoiding this LN pool here. I did think the hybrid 2... very strong for JayLye, but did show a little bit of weaknesses on some of those hybrid patterns there. This one going to be another fairly long map overall.
3 minutes, 30 seconds, and OD 7.2 as well. Definitely can be tricky, especially with LN Tech as well. Or hybrid tech. Either way, it's still both technical aspects. But the thing that kind of makes me curious as well, I'm curious to see if Elic will perform better than Hybrid 2 or EX2 in this case, because when it comes to more techie hybrids, it definitely comes down to a bit more of that physicality aspect as well. So maybe if Elic can hold on to their long note and get a pretty nice score here, maybe nice full combo, they could show a threat to JayLye in this pick. I'm not really too sure, but it can go either way. That's what I'm essentially trying to say.
Yeah, definitely some potential that I see here. Elic is going to have to rely quite a lot on the combo, though, because as we've seen on some of these more LN-heavy patterns that we might be seeing throughout the map as well, JayLye does have the accuracy advantage overall in those.
Absolutely. Again, release fundamentals are going to bring you a long way, especially in tournament settings, because you can't really afford to bleed a lot of 200s in that case, especially as it will be more of a death by a pheasant cut scenario where you can drop a 200, but when you drop more, then that's kind of when you have to raise the eyes a bit. But here we are heading into the start as the 400 combo is going to be Wretch. Both players getting off to a pretty nice start of 299.8 in this case.
Yeah, slow accuracy drops for both players, but keeping it close. No player with a large lead just yet. Both combos still intact so far.
Again, there's not really too much until we do get to the Ki. Again, it's just going to be kind of more that simple coordination alongside some trills, alongside some jacks as well, and some shields as well being seen. But nothing really too much that throws off the players currently right now. But now as we do get into more the main meat of the map, that might be subject to change. Seeing a couple of reverse shields as well, and some anchors with some LN finishes could definitely catch you if you're not careful. But overall, both these players putting on very solid performances. There were a couple of misjudgments on the side there, but JayLye is going to be taking that drop as well, which does trade it out.
First first combo drop of this match, I should say, and Elic now trading with JayLye again, so Elic maintains this lead overall, but the repeated miss again from Elic. Both players struggling to hold on to the combo. I feel like this might be switching over, but it's so close. Elic with a little bit of an overall combo advantage with those misses, but the accuracy is very slightly in JayLye's favor. This is going to be a hard one to tell who's in the lead after all said and done.
At this point, the gate is just there. There's no obstacles in the way. Only a 2-digit score difference as we are heading into the final third. And it's just picking up from here. Like, all bets are off now. Here we are, more the density is starting to rile up. More of those jacks, more of those jumps, more of those LN flams. everything is being thrown on the table, but Elic is starting to take a couple of more misdrops as well. Look at the unstable rate. Their more LN releases are a bit more all over the place compared to JayLye, keeping back on that control, but combo's going to be most important here. We still have a quarter of the map left, so we still have a good chunk to see. And again, the score lead isn't really too big, but you can tell the nerves on JayLye are starting to increase as well. Look at the unstable rate. When you start hitting earlier, that does seem a sign of nerves, but quads are also heading in at this point too.
Oh my god, so intense right now. Everyone's managed to combo this second half so far. No more misses, both players locking in, but it's JayLye that's coming out ahead when it comes to the accuracy overall. Elic seeming to sacrifice some of that accuracy for the combo, but it's all for naught if JayLye also full combos that whole section. It is going to be JayLye picking up his own point once again, but not without a really good fight from Elic.
Very strong scores from both players. Had those misses not happened on the side of Elic, they could have taken that breakpoint, which would have been extremely significant on their side. But even then, I think that just comes to show as well that Elic can definitely hold their own when it comes to long notes as well. But for their pick, I think they're probably going to have to stay on the side of tech. I think Rice 4 is going to be their option for their next pick.
Yeah, that does kind of seem like the where this is going overall, right? Rice 6, Rice 5, Rice 4 in that backwards order.
As JayLye said, in this case, every pick is risky. Especially when you are coming across someone who is pretty well rounded as well on the side of Elic.
Yeah, Elic definitely putting up the numbers on these hybrids for sure. But I would definitely say the Rice is where they shine the best. We'll see if Rice 4 ends up being the pick, or maybe we could switch something up with a Rice 2 or Rice 1. Or EX1, in fact, even, is something that hasn't been picked yet. And in fact, that is going to be where Elic decides to go.
Alright, EX1 in the equation. I do understand the thought process behind this. Heading into a more physical pick. It is kind of risky at this point because if JayLye does take a breakpoint here, which can happen because both players are still really well rounded, we can see JayLye maybe pick something into something like Long Note 1 or Long Note 2. So in this case, this could be Elic's potential last pick, so hopefully they did pick really strong here.
Yeah, I mean, the unfortunate thing is, no matter what Elic picks, it's always a possible breakpoint for JayLye. The consistency has been really strong when it comes to the Rice overall for both players. But this is the EX1, 4 minutes long, and the hardest Rice map of the pool. We're not really going to be expecting full combos out of these players here. It's going to be up to who makes the mistakes and how big those mistakes are going to be.
Absolutely. It's really just about minimizing those risks and damage while trying to thrive off your strengths in this case. But 4 minutes, there definitely is room for error. Gonna be kind of more of your techie Rice pick in this case. Something similar to the later Rices, so something like a Rice 6. We have seen, I do believe, Elic drop a breakpoint on that though, so that kind of does make me a bit nervous on their side too. But hopefully, you know, if they're going into EX1, they're definitely going to be confident that they can take a pick like this. But as well, some of the anchors as well, you really do have to watch out in a pick like this, as anything can just throw you off in this case.
Okay, here we go. We'll see if there's any early misses from either player so far. Double full combo. Big accuracy drop from JayLye. Hitting some really bad judgments there. That's going to give Elic a bit of a lead. 2,000 points only, though.
It's still too close to comfort, and Elic drops on the quad transition. Gonna be over towards the side of JayLye in this case, but accuracy still goes over towards the side of Elic. And I think there's just going to be a lot more missed opportunities as I say that. JayLye and Elic trading back on the anchor section at 180 BPM. It is very brutal to kind of keep onto that control. So we're going to be seeing some more natural accuracy drops, but it is really understandable at this point, as it is a very brutal section. Elec going to be taking enough drops, so was a lot on the higher accuracy here. JayLye does have that lead, but now the anchor's gone. Kind of heading into more mini jacks, more rolls, more broken jump stream in this case. While having the accuracy disadvantage, still holding on to that combo is going to be crucial for them at that point. As I say that, JayLye finding another drop again. That's going to be over towards the side of Elec as they just thrive on this mini jack section. Is very repetitive and can definitely lead a very big strain on your fingers.
And now I think both players have had pretty much the same number of misses overall, but it's been JayLye to have much messier misses. When he has found those, Elec has maintained this accuracy quite well. And now JayLye finding the repeated misses again, not really finding that comfort. Elec not quite being comfortable back, but this accuracy lead is building up to something significant now, 10,000 points and counting.
It is definitely a very risky pick. Definitely designed to be uncomfortable as well in that case. A lot of repetition patterns can be seen. A lot of those mini jacks. JayLye is going to take another drop again, but really at this point, it is going to be kind of hard to mention more of those, but we still have the final drop left, and if you know anything about it, it's going to be a lot more brutal compared to what we have seen. So I still think a difference can still be made. I still think that JayLye could make the comeback if Elec does find a significant slip up, but we'll have to see. JayLye missing on the anchor transition, and here we are back again with the more pattern repetition. A lot of those trills, a lot more of those jacks as well, but it is definitely a lot more comfy compared to what we have seen before. More of the anchors are riling up as well.
This is happening back again on Elec's side, but it's a clean miss again. Not much damage in the accuracy, and JayLye is dropping every time. Down to 98.5. This is more than 0.5% lead. And that is more than enough to outlast at least a few more misses on Elec's side. And that's just going to be it in the end. Elec managing to get a really strong pick of their own.
There we are. Got a couple of those double anchors to close us out. And that is going to be it. Elec is going to be securing their second point. The comeback is on for them. Again, they're only down one breakpoint, so not the most damage in the world in this case. So that does mean they do have some signs of life still shown in them.
Yeah, I mean, it's always like the case where it feels worse than it actually is when you see the 4-1 scoreline, right? But as you said, that is only one breakpoint difference. 2 of the 3 maps that you need to catch up are on your own picks. So the only thing Elec really needs to do to tie this up is win on JayLye's next pick. And JayLye as well, going to be reaching deeper and deeper into the picks now. Still has yet to pick an LN, and actually still won't pick an LN, in fact.
Heading into Hybrid 1, that's going to be all the hybrids exhausted here. So stream Hybrid it is. Seems like JayLye is also calling for timeout.
Yeah, hands destroyed by that EX1, which is very reasonable.
Exactly. I was going to say. But I guess we could just wait and see at this point. Oh, never mind. JayLye isn't really requesting a timeout. I think they just need a few seconds to catch back.
Yeah, I guess just using the ready up timer instead of an extra timeout timer, right?
Yeah, that's pretty fair enough. So I guess we're just gonna wait for the start command to be given out, and then we can get into it.
Okay, all 3 hybrids being played. The 3 picks of JayLye. But so far, I feel like these have not necessarily been dominant JayLye victories on these hybrids. It has been Elic keeping really close. So I don't think JayLye can afford many slip-ups on something such as this.
Yeah, I can totally see that as well. It's just been very close altogether. And with the stream hybrid, does kind of match into a bit of density too. So, curious to see what happens. A couple of early releases on the side of Elic. Just going to lower their accuracy a small bit. JayLye still just thriving though at the start, but the density is starting to rile up a bit. Going to see a couple of more of those LNs match with the jump stream at 250 BPM as well. Bit of physicality does have to take place as well.
Both players holding onto the combo just fine. It is the accuracy lead in JayLye's favor, but there's a miss. JayLye finding the first slip up, and that might be just about enough. Elic still behind in the accuracy. Is going to need to recover that a little bit if he wants to capitalize on this miss.
They just have the smidgest of the advantages right now. As we do get into more the break area. Backward towards the side of JayLye. I think another miss will have to do on the side of them if Elic does want to make that comeback. But they have stabilized a bit on that pretty comfy 99.3. But we still have half the map left, and it does get even denser than before. Again, the stamina also does have to take a pretty big impact as well here.
Yeah, JayLye's accuracy still increasing over time, managing to recover that so well. And that's giving them the advantage once again, 2,000 points in the lead as this accuracy gap is growing over time. Even though Elic's still on the full combo, it's not quite enough.
It's still just pushing out a small bit. I think another drop on the side of JayLye will have to do if Elic does want to make that catch up again. But we have seen them making that pretty nice comeback for the 9.5 drop. But here we are heading into the final quarter. A couple of split frills we are seeing as well on the side. Just really battle consistency and stamina here. But Elic definitely having a bit less control compared to JayLye here. It's definitely compared to, well, do you want to keep combo but less accuracy, or vice versa in this case? But JayLye just thriving off this at this point, still climbing up, still hitting all those awkward frill patterns, and they are still climbing up. Elic is gonna finally crack and take some pretty nasty drops in a 99.2. I think that almost does it. JayLye on the victory lap as the map does come to a close.
It's a rough drop there from Elic, couple of drops, and now, yeah, as you said, JayLye feels like he has it in the bag, just needs to close it out in these last few seconds. And it's going to be match points secured.
Very impressive performance by both players. Elic almost having a pretty nice secure lead, but that comeback from JayLye and that eventual crack on their side made it all come falling down, unfortunately. But JayLye making that really strong comeback though on their side. And that does rightfully earn them the match point. So Elic having to pick very wisely here. It could potentially be their last. Still only one breakpoint down. But you need to pick very wisely here if you do want to keep your fighting breath up. And in this case, well, the thing that kind of makes me a bit scared. Rise 4, 5, and 6 are all exhausted. So you only have, I know, Rise 4 is still available. I mean, and I was going to say Rise 4 is Rise 4 has to be the answer here.
Yeah,
there's
Rise
no doubt about
4
it.
just makes so much sense in this scenario here for Elic to pick into. Of course, is going to have to win one more of his own picks if he wants to force this into tiebreaker. But that can come later. For now, it is going to be this pick one at a time, and Elic's going to have to win his own Rise 4.
It could definitely be doable. This is going to be more, Rise 4 is definitely going to be more of our Let me check. Okay, this is going to be a pure tech. But the thing that scares me as well, it is only 2 minutes 20. Shortest map, I do believe, of this round. So that does kind of make me a bit scared in this case. That misses are going to matter a lot more in this case. Especially what this map does contain. A lot of jacks, flams. At 260 BPM as well. Getting a full combo on this would be very tricky.
And I have to say, as far as the combo is concerned, so far in this match, I feel like both players have gone back and forth. There hasn't been a clear winner in terms of the combo so far. It could be Alex just as well as JayLye's if it comes down to it.
I'm very scared to see how this one actually does turn out as well. Of course, Mysterion does need no introduction, making a lot of brutal maps like this. And already starting off, got a couple of jumps and hands as well with a couple of those mini jump streams. And with the flams as well. JayLye going to be taking a pretty nasty 50 there, but I don't really think that'll be too which could be significant actually, as I do mention it.
Yeah,
But,
I mean, as you said, it's a short map, so there's going to be a bit less time to recover, but is recovering just fine so far. Just going to be trailing by a little bit of accuracy.
I'm actually informed that Rise 3 is the shortest map, but got banned.
Oh, I mean, effective shortest map in this match.
Exactly. Here we are heading into the main Ki. JayLye catching themselves back up, but that 50 is really going to be anchoring them down. And a couple more of those two-note jump sections as well. A couple more of those flams as well, accompanied by a lot of those dense jump stream areas. Although pretty light, if you're not really adapted to the speed, it could definitely be very hard to catch back up with your footing. But here we are, Elic holding on to that 99.8, heading into the final third, which is going to be brutal.
Oh yeah, but and this accuracy gap is closing over time. Elic with the 200 there, but JayLye missing. The very uncharacteristic place to miss as well. One of the... Not even the main section just yet, but it's going to be Elic with a really strong lead now, still holding the full combo. He's going to have to get through this last section to be able to hold on to it, though. We'll see.
It is coming down to the wire. More jacks are being shown. Even at this point, Elic could find a combo break of their own. But looking how consistent they are, I think they are going to hold on to it. Very impressive 991.5 on their side. Still putting themselves back in the fight.
Oh my god. Wait, the 350s at the start from JayLye. If you look at those bad judgments, take those away, and JayLye has a bit of an edge when it comes to that ratio, but I feel like with those 350s, even without the miss, Elic still would have won in terms of the accuracy. So Elic really strong. That's the first step of 3 that he needs to make this reverse sweep a reality.
And here we are. JayLye just attempting to close this out once and for all. They've been sitting around the match point for too long. So they're jumping straight into long note 1. Actually, never mind about Rise 4 being the shortest pick. LN1 is even shorter, only 2 minutes long.
Oh, this is a dangerous one. But it is an LN map, and this is one of the maps we were talking about before. It would have made sense for JayLye to pick this first even. It is something that should on paper favor JayLye in this matchup. But on the other side of things, this is going to be JayLye's best opportunity to close out the match. This is JayLye's last pick for sure in this whole match. So if this doesn't work out now, if Elic manages to take a break point, this is on.
It is too close to comfort at this point. I think LN1 definitely is the strongest pick for the side of JayLye in this case. Especially that their release fundamentals are on their A game, especially in this match. So it does really make sense. But again, it is a pretty high star rating, so a bit of that density as well is also going to be shown. But JayLye!
Oh.
already finding an early drop. Although we do kind of see Elic finding a bit more of that struggle in the comfort zone here. Thankfully, it is an early miss on their side, and already tying JayLye's accuracy. Elic not really too comfortable on more the release fundamentals, kind of like a mini timing hell-esque of a map as well in this case.
This is rough to be able to get any kind of accuracy on, and as we saw that, as you said, this was a really early miss from JayLye. It's not really going to matter as much as a miss in the middle of the map. So this accuracy is already enough, but wait, JayLye misses again. A clean miss at that, and Elic trades it back, so it's going to go back to JayLye, all things considered here.
Ladder is on the board. We still have half the map left, and we still have a lot more spikes to get through here. You're playing essentially at full inverse at many of these break parts as well, so you cannot afford to find any slip-ups. You do not have an opportunity to even catch your breath in this case as well. A lot of those trills, a lot more of those jumps, a lot of those coordination areas. Elic finding another drop as well.
Ooh, that's a messy
JayLye,
one.
as you said as well, JayLye just running this lead from the tip of their nose right now. Only 1 quarter left. Something substantial has to happen on their side if Elic does want to take this back. But JayLye lowering the gap, essentially trying to escape the grasp of the quarterfinals. Will they do it? Elic still catching up with their combo, but the accuracy wise, I don't think it's going to be enough unless something substantial happens.
Yeah, no, the accuracy feels like it's just too much of a barrier to overcome here. JayLye securing out this win. 30,000 points is just not enough time for it. Gonna end up 6-3. JayLye coming out on top at the end. The accuracy difference just too much for Elic to come back from. And unfortunately here, Elic is going to be eliminated from the tournament in the losers quarterfinals.
Really good performance from both players. Commiserations to Elic and congratulations to JayLye for making it. Now I do believe that is only going to be the first of the 2 conditionals, if I remember correctly. So now JayLye will be going up next time, either today or tomorrow, against Robbie or Senku.
Oh, that is going to be... This is going to be a bloodbath in the little bracket. With a lot of these matches that are happening, some super strong players.
Exactly. I, for one, I'm just really excited to see how this turns out in this case as well. But very good scores, very close match from both players. And now looking at what we have for our next match, if I can pull it up. And let me try pull it up for a minute.
Let's see when the next match is. I think 14 UTC.
That is going to be in 5 minutes.
5 minutes or 9 minutes.
It's going to be Lokshun versus... Oh, 7 minutes.
Some amount of minutes.
It is going to be, in this case, Lokshun versus Machalade. And I do believe this is going to be another lower bracket match. So more stakes on the line again. But I guess for now, that's pretty much all of it.
Yeah, we'll have a short break here and we'll be back very shortly. So make sure you go have a little bit of a break and come back in for some more lower bracket action. We'll see you guys very soon.
Take care.